Hi, Ron. Um, we have another question from a member. Ron, I have been given a message that death is more of a transition than what we believe it to be. With that, will those who passed away and their loving souls be waiting us upon we I'm sorry, we waiting us once we reach the 4D and 5D dimensions?
Okay, this is a good question and worth consideration because we want to know about what's going on and how this goes. Now, from my understanding, death is a transition. It's just like going from one room into another. Um, you're taking your soul with you, because you leave your body here on the earth, and it turns into dust or whatever they want to call it, and then that's where it sits until if you want to come and resurrect it or get the chance to do that. So if it's a transition, how do you transition? Here's what I have heard lately, just lately too. For those who pass, there is a white light or a tunnel of white light, and you're encouraged to go into that tunnel to get into the light. And then I've heard it said, well, for those who do, that's your connection back to the karmic wheel of birth and rebirth. See, we're not supposed to die. That was part of the Cabal's way of dealing with this. You don't die in any other dimension. You only die in the third dimension, um, because it's. Can I say it this way? It's not real. Well, tell me that a semi truck coming down and hitting me isn't real. No, I'm not saying that it's not real that way. But the reality is that it doesn't have anything to do with some kind of a reward that we're looking for or gain to, as we want to go back to live with God. We came here for a purpose. And why did we separate ourselves from God? We're separated in separation consciousness. God is never separated from us, and we are never separated. But psychologically, consciously, we have gone through a deception for ourselves, thinking that we can be separate from God. Now, why did we do that? Well, if God was here and we knew about it all the time, then we wouldn't have the experiences of third dimension that are why we're here to experience. Now, we have old souls and young souls. What is an old soul? An old soul is a person who has, this is what Cryon says, he has a lot of Akash, meaning he's got a long Akashic record on a personal basis. That means he's been around the block a few times, been to the earth, been all over as he wants to or she wants to, and have an experience. I should say he or she, because you're androgynous at that state. You're not male or female. You can manifest whatever you want to be whatever you want. And so that's an important thing to look at. Now, will you be with those who passed away and were living, loving souls by be waiting for us as we reach the fourth or fifth dimension? I'll have to say that I don't know. It's what you create. This is why the heavens have a real hard time telling us dates and things like this. There's events that are going to take place, but when a person makes up their mind, then that can be an event. Until they make up their mind, you don't know what they're going to do. And there's a certain amount of projection from God that can kind of figure some of that stuff out. And I suppose that's all right, but there's nothing binding you to any of their expectations. You are the one that's creating the experiences of your life. You want your family, your loving people to come to you and forth, and maybe you need to go up to seventh dimension to see them. We just have no idea who our parents are and who our children are. We think it's the way it is here on the earth, but it's probably it can't be that way. It's just not that way. So when you have children, they could be highly evolved spiritual beings with a lot of kosh. Younger ones have, maybe been born 2 or 3 times, whatever. Okay, so that's that experience. Now, when you pass away, you see that there's a ton of light. But if you do a 180 turn, you see the entirety of creation. And that's where you are. That's who you are. You're part of that. If you go through that tunnel of light, and then you remain in that place that the Cabal has created for us. It's called the circle of karmic circle of death and rebirth. And if you want to stay in that for some more times, your soul is going to be really helping you to understand these things. And so when you pass away, your soul is going to send you down that tunnel, or else you get a chance to, as an individual, go to different places and things. And who's in charge of that? I'm not sure that the soul, your higher self, is so in charge of it, but rather there's a conversations about what you want to do when you come to the earth and that sort of stuff that takes place. So it's not like you're being bossed around. They're doing things for you, not to you. So that's the way that I look at that. Probably gone 6 or 7 minutes. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for helping us remember. We'll be right back with another question.
Okay.